Vincent gave him only a momentary glance. He didn't want to be rude or draw attention, but he didn't want to lead him on either. Yes. Shame. Vincent downed half his vodka. Lucky guy, the man said under his breath, but almost certainly on purpose, loud enough for Vincent to hear. Get out of here. Try another bar. Already too many people have seen you in here. Although it was supposed to happen at this bar, Vincent realized it was more important for it to happen than where it did. Sorry, he mumbled. He laid some cash beside his unfinished drink, then stood to leave. He'd taken 2 steps toward the door when he saw the type of man he was looking for, an athletic African-American sitting alone in the booth near the narrow hallway to the restrooms. Just like the young man who'd taken a seat beside Vincent a moment ago, this guy looked on the shy side of 21, but Vincent guessed that carding people wasn't exactly at the top of the management's priority list. He had a beer bottle in front of him, a Leinenkugel's, almost empty. Vincent ordered 2 more from the bartender, excused himself from the guy who'd been coming on to him, and carried the 2 beers toward the booth. Just get him to the minivan. You're bigger. You can easily overpower him in there. As Vincent crossed the room, he surreptitiously dropped the 2 pills into one of the bottles and gently swirled them to the bottom. When he was halfway to the booth, the young black man looked his way. Vincent smiled, then, nervous, dropped his gaze. You can do this. Come on, you can do this. He'd already decided he would cuff him as soon as he got him into the van. Hopefully, he'd be too drugged to fight much or call for help, but Vincent had a gag and duct tape waiting just in case. If he wasn't able to get him to take off his clothes before he cuffed him, he would strip the guy, cutting off his shirt and jeans with the fabric shears when he was done, and then move forward with things from there. Almost to the booth now, he waited for the man to say something, but when he didn't, Vincent spoke, trying out the same line the guy had used on him a few moments earlier. Waiting for someone? The black man, kid really, looked his way, wide-eyed, wet his lips slightly. I saw Mark with you. That what he asked you? Vincent set down the drinks. Busted. He needs to expand his repertoire. I guess I do, too. The young man eyed the beers and said demurely, One of those for me. Vincent slid the drugged beer toward him, smiled again, and took a seat. The guy offered Vincent a soft nod, accepted the drink, and held out his hand, palm down, a diminutive handshake. I'm Lionel. Vincent, he shook Lionel's hand. Vincent. It almost sounded like Lionel was purring. Very European. His eyes gleamed. A shade mysterious. He took a sip of his beer. I haven't seen you here before, Vincent. Vincent couldn't think of anything clever or witty to say. Well, This is my first time. Your first time, what, here? He hesitated. Yes. Or your first time, period? Yes, my first time, period. Lionel looked at him as if he'd just said something humorous. You haven't done this before? Ever? No. Vincent took a drink as a way of hiding, but also of, hopefully, encouraging the young man to drink his beer as well. It worked. When Lionel had finished the swig, his eyes drifted toward Vincent's left hand, toward his wedding ring. You're married? Yes. Why tonight? Why did you come tonight? Is she out of town? The last thing Vincent wanted to do right now was talk about Colleen. Yes, he said, lying. Visiting her parents.